coffee mornings. It looks like EcclesiaCon is going to have a pre-event next year on Thursday night, and if it happens, it's going to be pretty wild. What's also cool is I'm not going to have to plan any of it. Now I just need to get the date for EcclesiaCon 2027 finalized so we can get the ball rolling. I had a blast running my Tales of Argosa campaign this week. I'm still getting used to the travel mechanics, but I did get to throw the party into a montage sequence to clear a landslide, and that was a lot of fun. I need to get them into some higher stakes montages at some point, so we're going to see how that works out. Stay tuned. The real fun, though, is when they got to their destination, an abandoned observatory high up in the mountains, which is linked to a character from the previous campaign. Ethereal figures rolled past them down the hall. Footsteps could be heard on the level above them. A silent figure, showing signs of a violent end, appeared in the hallway and stared at a party member for a bit before walking down a side corridor and disappearing. The group opened up one door and were greeted by several skeletons shambling together and standing up. They just noped out on that one and walked away. But the best was when a character fired a black powder weapon and, as the echo of the weapon's discharge faded, it was replaced by screams of pain and anguish reverberating through the halls. The players were freaked out, and I loved it. And the funny thing is, I don't even like the horror genre. Al Spader is going to run a session of Redacted on my channel, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to take place on June 11th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and it's got a really good cast. So come on and surf in if you can. I subscribed to the Analog Union newsletter, which is an indie RPG newsletter my friend John McGuire helps run. This last week had an interview with Jason Elliott of Solarian Games about the creation of Top Secret New World Order and the upcoming ModCon in Northampton, Massachusetts on May 30th. This is a great throwback to a pre-social media RPG community, and I am here for it. I recommend it to everyone, and you can sign up at analogunion.com. Here's a life lesson I'm pondering, which has sprung out of playing TTRPGs. I've got a t-shirt in my shop which asks the age-old question that most parties ask themselves at some point: are we the bad guys? I wonder if that should be a question we ask ourselves in real life as well. However we define both we and bad guy doesn't really matter. We just ask the question, are we the bad guys? The answer could be a genuine no, which would be cool, but I wonder if the simple act of asking that question would instill more humility in us as we interact with others. My friend Justin and I talk about the games we're in when we are at school waiting for our kids to get dismissed. And last week, another dad said, hey, I think I'd like to try this. So we're looking for a good opportunity to get him at a table. Our 3 kids do enjoy hanging out, and they've each played RPGs a bit with me. Superhero games are a great introduction for kids, by the way. And so that may be a good way to go. Just have everybody come out and hang out with us as we play this massive chaos adventure with adults and kids. It could be fun. We'll have to see how it works out. The newest deflection by a religious MAGA nationalist is crowing about how the Orange is calling Americans back to prayer, how he held a big rally, which he didn't attend, and how we're getting back to being a Christian nation. Yeah, the prophets had a bit to say about empty religion, and Jesus said quite a bit about that topic as well. It's a very strange thing to encounter people who claim to be my co-religionist but seem to live in a very different reality than the one I live in. Meanwhile, the Orange has created a slush fund with taxpayer money to give cash to anyone who claims they were wrongly persecuted by the Biden administration. So all those lovely insurrectionists he pardoned can get a nice payout at our expense. Lindsey Graham has said that there's no room to oppose the Orange in the GOP, so I guess he's all the way in on authoritarianism. Now, the Senate finally voted to force the Orange to get authorization for his disastrous war with Iran, with Senator Bill Cassidy being the deciding vote after previously refusing to vote on similar measures. Why did he change his vote? Well, it wasn't some pang of conscience. The Orange primaried Senator Cassidy, and he's losing his seat. This was a middle finger to the guy who tanked his career. All the people in power who keep bowing to this unhinged criminal in politics and business and in religion, they keep getting shocked when the leopard eats their face. I mean, who could have seen any of that coming? But hey, big ugly ballroom. Remember, folks, there is no war in Ba Sing Se. I have to say, I am excited for Concoction down in Vineland, New Jersey, May 29th through 31st. I'll be there Friday and Saturday running some games and recording lots of interviews, which will go up on Paige's YouTube channel. It's going to be a blast. And if you can get there, tickets will be available at the door. I did all of my prep for my Numenera session written longhand on my Books Note Air 5C. It was a much different experience. Now, I did have my wider lore typed into my campaign manager for quick reference, and my iPad was on hand in case I needed to check out that lore or dive into the rule books for some reason. But my handwritten notes had all my NPCs, all the stat blocks I needed, and all the event triggers all ready to go. It worked great. And aside from recapping our last session, I never referenced the iPad at all. Writing my notes on the 10-inch screen as we played was also amazing. And in case you're wondering how the session went, the party, named Murder Fire 13B, opened play by almost getting wiped out by a creature who might have once been human, and then they were knocked out by a mysterious hermit who wasn't all that happy he had to clean up the party's mess. The group woke up in a strange neighborhood surrounded by very friendly people who keep mentioning the benefactor. They are mistrusting everything, and I love it. Stephen Colbert's last show has aired, and it was a fitting end. One moment that struck me is when he had an aside during a bit, and he said to himself, "Come on, Colbert," with a hard T. Some folks don't know that Colbert is actually his stage name, and it felt like that moment was his goodbye. Stephen Colbert is funny, kind, poignant, and cares deeply for the well-being of this world and how power is wielded in it. It's why he was always so hard on those in power, and it's why I hope he'll find a way to make his voice heard in the future. And hope is the key word. I have heard many versions of people declaring that hope is a stupid thing in my life. Hope is not a strategy. The pie in the sky isn't real. Or my favorite among religious people is, heavenly minded, no earthly good. To those who would say that having hope is useless, I say this: get behind me, Satan. Hope isn't wishful thinking. It's an engine for change. Being hopeless is not only useless, it leaves people open to horrific manipulations by those who are willing to crush people down in order to get or hold power. And if you meet someone who tells you to have no hope at all, stop your ears and get away. Those who see themselves as the arbiters of power, all forms of power, want us hopeless. So rebel. Piss off these people who think of us as insects to be used and then discarded, and have hope. Hope that kindness can make a comeback. Hope that history really does stretch toward justice. Hope that the wider world can recover from the violent fever dream in which it's lost. Hope that something good can emerge in response to the naked corruption in all three branches of our federal government. And use that hope as the energy you need to be involved in the work to see it happen. Thank you, Stephen Colbert, for gifting people a vision of hope. Keep up the struggle. Okay, coming up, I actually have an introduction to my Note Air 5C that I have recorded and videoed. It's actually multicam, so it's kind of cool. I'm going to be having that up early in the week, probably on Tuesday. After that, I do have to get my review of Redacted done because I'm going to be playing in a session of it pretty soon, and I'm looking really forward to it. I have read the book. It's pretty cool. Looking forward to bringing that to you as well. Then I got Shadow West, Trash Sexy. I've got Flowers of Algrub from Free League Press here. Those are all some review copies that were given me. I also want to show off the really cool GM screen for Coriolis the Great Dark. So maybe there'll be a short on that pretty soon as well. I am looking forward to bringing all of this to you. And until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.